Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I started another 5-day trip. Again, I've already explained to you that all my trips end after 5 o'clock, so we're not going to beat that dead horse. I did pick up a trip at the end of the month because I was supposed to be off for the last 2 days of the month, but because I did that for a purpose because next month I'm trying to load the back half of my schedule, and I needed a carryover trip to kind of help out with that. So that's why I picked up a carryover trip that possibly could help out. This is an experiment because I've never done it before, so we're going to see if it works out. I'm gonna be on this trip when I get to see my schedule, and normally I would check my schedule because they drop throughout the day. So I'm gonna wait until I get to my hotel to check my schedule. It's gonna be tempting to see if I actually get the days to open it before I actually get to you all. I don't know, I'm gonna see how that work out. But I was off for 3 days. I was supposed to change my brakes. Didn't get a chance to because the day that I was gonna change my brakes, it rained here. So I'll do that on my next off day or whatever. I have everything that I need. And yes, I do small stuff with my car, like change the oil, change the brakes. I've been doing that since I was like 25, so I'm still here. One of those things, my dad, my first few cars, they were all used cars. So if something happened, hey dad, I think they say my alternator went out. He'll tell me to go buy the part, and he'll come down there and fix it. He'll, all right, let's go. But there was no sitting in the house while he fixed my car. I had to sit there and watch him do it. So, and that's how I learned how to do small things. So when people start describing stuff that happened to their car, that their car doing, I'm like, oh, that's this, and this. They're like, how you know that? Trust me, everything that has happened, that can happen with the car, with the exception of I've never blew an engine, so I would never do that. But any little small timing belt, starter going out, battery dead, fuel pump went out on you. I had a crack in my motor head. Went to a junkyard and just got a top to put screw back on there, which that's what they did back in the days. You just call a junkyard to try to find a cheaper price and stuff like that. I know, I was born in 1984. That's what we used to do. I'm looking for the shuttle. But yeah, so I'll do that on my next off day or whatever like that. I changed my oil because going to, an oil place or even the dealership, you set an appointment for 8 o'clock, you don't get your car back till 1. Like, what's the point? Time is very valuable to me. So it takes me about 30 minutes, jack my car up, change my oil myself. Plus, it's cheaper. I'm saving myself about $60 by just going to AutoZone and buying the oil and the filter myself and then just changing it. So, but other than that, I'm finna get ready to get on the shuttle. I'll see you guys tonight in Moline, 3 legs. White Plains turn, and then a 2.5 hour sit, and then I go to Moline. Today's flights was, they were okay. First flight going to White Plains, this pre-boarding couple family got on, right? And I seen one of the guys, he had on a shirt that said Marietta football. So I said, y'all from Marietta? Well, I said Marietta. I said, are y'all from Marietta? Which that's how the people who are from there and the older people say it, but Marietta for the people who are not, and that's how you pronounce it when you look at the spelling of it. And they kind of looked at me like, oh, he knows something. He was like, yeah, born and raised. So I was like, hey, do you know any guns? Right? And he was like, yeah, I know Vanessa, that's my aunt. And come to find out, that's her in-laws. And they was like, yeah, I know your dad and yada, 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 your dad. I promise y'all, and y'all think I'm making this up. Everybody that I've met that know my dad has always said the same exact thing. They might have crazy stories, but they will always say he's good people. So they were on the plane going to see their granddaughter in White Plains or whatever. Like I say, Marietta is a tight knit, especially if they lived in the city back during the time when my dad was born. He was born in 1958. So again, that was before desegregation, whatever like that. But I mean, it's a whole history. I can talk about that a little bit later on, but it's a tight knit community, especially a lot of the people that grew up there around my dad's age. A lot of them either leave to go to college and they come back to live and work somewhere in, like the metro Atlanta area. So my dad had friends from childhood that he still knew until he died. So then we get to White Plains coming back, another pre-board. I told my flying friend, I said, she gonna be extra, because she was just extra even in the jet bridge. Lo and behold, we get on the flight, she was extra. Pre-departure, she asked for a little Woodford cream, on rocks, drinking that, no problem. Get up in the air, do my service, going through it, asking everybody their drink orders. I don't write anything down. I usually do it by memory because I always forget paper, and I have a pen, but I always forget paper. And so she stops me, and she was like trying to, worried about her connection time, which she had an hour and a half. So I'm like, oh, you got plenty of time. No. I need somebody she wanted somebody to write a map of the Atlanta airport, put dots on it, show her where the elevator is, not an escalator, because she had a walker, and give her the step. Like, first of all, that's what's on the app. That's why the app is very, very important, right? The app is very important because you can look to see how far your gate is, and it puts the dots on it. The same thing that she's asking for somebody to draw. I told her we can get her a meeting. And says, no, I don't need that. Yes, you do. But either way, she somehow pulled out a map, and, we told her how to get there. But that was the first, to have somebody ask me to draw them a map, get somebody to draw them a map of the Atlanta airport and put dots on it to show where the exact area of the elevators are so she can go down it. But other than that, it was cool. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's just another day at the office. But I'm gonna work out tomorrow morning because this hotel, we have access to an actual gym with free weights, and they're not open now. They open up, I think, at 7 in the morning. So I'm gonna go over there and work out. See you guys tomorrow. For everybody, today is day 2 legs. Moline to Atlanta to Springfield. I'm just hard-headed. I'm very, very hard-headed. I worked out today, right? So I said I was just gonna walk on the treadmill. I wasn't gonna run, but I had to start running. And even though my right foot doesn't feel 100%, I still feel a little remnants of the soreness from when it was hurt last week. Hopefully I didn't re-aggravate it, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see later on today, but I hope I didn't. It's still not fully comfortable for me to really run full speed on it, but I ran anyway. So I did get up and work out, ate breakfast, and came back and laid down for a little bit longer. Tomorrow is supposed to be really bad thunderstorms in Atlanta, and we're gonna see how that goes. But as of now, there's no delays. I'm finna get ready to go down to the van. I'll see you guys once I get to Springfield. Made it here to Springfield. Trust me, I did a lot of praying when we were landing, coming through Springfield, because tornadoes and everything are in the area. So our flight was supposed to originally be an hour and 27 minutes. Ended up being 2 hours and 27 minutes because our pilots had to go around the storms. And luckily there were pockets of where we could go around and not have to try to go through it and deal with the turbulence. Previous clip I'm gonna put of what I saw outside of the plane as we were coming here to Springfield. But when I tell you that wind was super strong, because in the back, if you've been doing this for a while, you can tell when the pilots are fighting to land the plane because the wind is so strong. I could feel it, and as we were landing, I felt the plane go like this. So I'm thinking he's finna go around. No, he just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. We landed. It was a soft landing. It wasn't hard, but trust me, when I tell you I was praying and speaking in tongues and all this other stuff like that we land, because there was a lady next to me. I was talking to her again. She's from Brazil. We were talking the entire flight. She grabs onto her daughter as we landed, and the guy in front of her, his son was next to him on the other aisle. He literally kind of put his arm like this to try to brace him, just because it just felt like it was going to be a hard landing, which I thought it was going to be too, the way that it went. But my FO, he did a good job, Hopefully, we're going to see how tomorrow brings, because the weather is going east. So I know Atlanta's supposed to be affected by possible tornadoes. Alabama, all that area is going to be affected by possible tornadoes tomorrow and early Sunday morning. So we're going to see how that affects me tomorrow as well. But what did there was something I was supposed to tell you all today. I don't remember it, but I'm gonna remember it in the morning because I'm just happy that we landed safely. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for dinner. Hey everybody, today is day 3. I've been delayed, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So the thunderstorms in between here and there in Atlanta, because it's not raining in Atlanta yet, but it's really bad. So it's caused a lot of massive delays. And we're gonna have to go around the storm. So the flight is gonna be a lot longer than it should be because we have to go around the storms versus trying to go through it. I still think we're going to Columbus tonight because we had a 2.5 hour sit. It got cut down, but we're gonna see because we're not supposed to take the same plane out. So we have to wait on another plane. So we're just gonna see what happens. My FO thinks we're not gonna go. I think we're gonna go just because of the sit. If it wasn't a sit and it was getting delayed, then I can see them taking it off of us. But I see us going, but you know, it is what it is. We're gonna see what happens when I get to Atlanta. I'll talk to you guys if we make it to Columbus tonight. In Fayetteville, North Carolina, it's a little bit after midnight. Didn't make it to Columbus because our inbound flight came in about 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, which was 6. And the flight to Columbus was at 8:30. And the route that we was originally supposed to take, we couldn't take because the weather was from the Gulf of Mexico, stretching almost all the way up to Canada. So what we had to do was, I think after we got to Tennessee, we went north and then around the storm and came down into Atlanta, which it was 1 hour and 35 minutes originally if we was just to go straight through, to 2 hours and 30 minutes of a flight. So we were gonna misconnect. So basically we just swapped with somebody that was on the sit and we took their flight to Fayetteville, which is good for me because I have 4 legs tomorrow. Now I only do 2, but I do have a 3-hour sit in Atlanta tomorrow. And I remember what I was supposed to tell you all. So on my flight from Moline yesterday, right? I'm coming up because somebody asked for a seatbelt extender. So I'm going to the front to get a seatbelt extender out of the front compartment. My flying partner is doing first class service. And so I wait at the front to greet people until she come back so I can walk back with the seatbelt extender. This guy walks on with alcohol in an alcoholic cup. Now, sometimes people can get away if it's in a Burger King cup, but you had a small cocktail cup. And what grown man put 3 cherries in a regular drink cup? Never. So I told him, I said, hey, sir, you cannot bring the alcohol on here. He was like, well, I said, either you can take another flight tomorrow because this is the last flight out of Moline, or you can go throw it away, or you can give it to me and throw it away and you can board and we'll be cool. So he gave it to me and I was going to give him, asked him if he wanted something to drink alcoholic beverages when I did service, but he was asleep. But some of these gate agents, which I don't see how the gate agent missed it. Just don't see how the gate agent missed it. But a lot of times, some of the gate agents don't want to have to deal with it. So it kind of get pushed on us to deal with it. Not just that, but it's a lot of things that they do that they shouldn't allow. Like you can clearly tell, I've had people come down, you can clearly tell they was drunk. When I tell you one time, like I said before, one guy was so drunk, he stumbled down the jet bridge and hit the wall. He couldn't go, she knew he was drunk, but you sent him down anyway. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. I'm gonna get ready and take a shower and lay it down. Tomorrow, I don't leave until 1 something, so I'll be able to react to my schedule with you all tomorrow. So I won't be tempted to look at it beforehand. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. So it's about 10:30. I got up a little bit earlier. They said that our schedules are out. So we're gonna see if I got what I asked for. I don't think so. Just based on how I feel, how it's been going the last few months. And nope, did not get what I asked for. Did not get what I asked for at all. At all. Then they gave me a 1-day trip, a day trip. Why? Start at 1 o'clock and end at 9. Y'all got to be high. And it's attached to a 5-day. Let me look and see if I got anything else that I asked for. And with a Bahamas turn, first trip. And with another Bahamas turn, second trip. Third trip, it ends, before 3 o'clock. Go figure. My last trip, it ends at 3 o'clock. you know, stay at the company long term, they said. Build up your seniority, they said. You'll have your schedule the way that you want to the longer you stay there, they said. Nah, not in my case. And which I understand from a regional perspective. We haven't hired for Atlanta in probably 4 years. That's the last time I can recall a class actually coming to Atlanta. Everything has been hired for New York and Cincinnati since then. And the issue is we just can't keep people in New York. It's no secret that, you know, the way, especially on the regional level, how you get paid is not enough for New York. It's not enough, especially if you're not from there and you don't have a support system already in play, or a system already in play where you got a second job or something like that. It could be hard with just this one job. My seniority has actually dwindled in Atlanta because junior people are leaving, especially the ones that were used to having a line and then they went back on reserve. So they transferred to New York, or they quit because, you know, people weren't able to drop, and a lot of people were doing this just to keep the benefits because it wasn't paying the bills. So they got another job. Now they're not able to drop, so they might have to just quit altogether. So, and trust me, I promise you, when I tell y'all, the senior people here in Atlanta, they're not quitting. They're not retiring either. They're still here. They're not retiring, and they're not quitting. So, you might as well say I'm probably like at a 2-year seniority when it comes to bidding because of how my seniority has dropped because we haven't hired for anybody here. So, it is what it is. I don't think the grid is going to be green for me to be able to drop and try to move some things around, but we'll see. Today I have a 3-hour sit in between my flight to Huntsville, so we're going to see what happens, and I'll see you guys tonight. Made it through this 5-day trip. I didn't get with y'all yesterday because I felt like I talked too much throughout this vlog. It was just basically delays throughout the rest of this trip, trying to play catch up from the IROC from the storm. And that's pretty much it. That's all that actually happened. And I'm just, you know, out here enjoying the trees, just looking at them to make sure they didn't get damaged by the wind and everything like that came through here. And, you know, it's looking pretty promising so far, but we're going to see because the weather did dip. And then tomorrow is supposed to be back in the 70s from here on out. So, but other than that, I'll see you guys. I'm off for a couple of days, and I'll see you guys when I do my next 5-day. It's always hug on the ones that you love. Tell the ones that you love them. I'm out.